Hello guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing this look here. It is the Foxy Eye Trend Bella Hadid make-believe plastic surgery look. It is just something that I thought would be really fun to do with this nice little shape here and these inner corners that I have never tried before. Alright, so let's get into it and enjoy. Okay, so I'm actually really excited about today's video. I think that this is going to be a really fun thing for me to do. I have a couple hacks that are going to make things a little bit easier for you rather than just kind of freehanding and just going with the shape, because we do want to get that like really nice elongated shape, that Bella Hadid like lifted brow we just got plastic surgery thing. We don't do plastic surgery, at least yet here, so we're not quite there, but we're gonna fake it and act like we do. To start today, we are gonna be using the Ciaté Watermelon Burst Hydrating Primer. I did get this in my Ipsy. I just really like the smell, and I feel like it really freshens my skin and kind of brightens it, and we can all use some extra hydration. That's never a bad thing. Another primer I'm gonna use, as usual, is my E.L.F. Putty Primer, just to fill in some of my larger pores on my nose and on my chin. Get us all smoothed and blurred. Botox with a finger. The last step of priming, I'm gonna use this Yensa lip oil. I got this also in my Ipsy, and I've tried it out and it smells so good, and it just gives us like a nice moisturized start to our lips. Make sure they are prepped and primed and ready for our lipstick. And I'm just gonna take my De-Slick setting spray and just give it a little spritz here just to kind of make sure that it is all moisturized. Today I'm gonna be using my Bare Minerals Bare Pro Foundation in Light Natural number 9. I really like this one. It's definitely a liquid formula. It's a thinner formula, but still has really good medium buildable coverage. Make sure to cover your ears. And as I'm blending my forehead foundation, I kind of just like to do a nice little lift like this into my hairline. I do have darker hair, so I don't like it when foundation gets in there and leaves little marks. So I just kind of do like a nice little flick right into that hairline just to kind of blend it, make it look like everything is all in unison. Nice and even. To start my contour today, I am going to be using the Hoola bronzing stick. Typically, I would like a little bit of a more cool tone to do my cream contouring to create that nice shadow in my cheekbones, but I do want kind of a bronzy glow look today, so I'm going to stick with this one just a little more warm. For my cream contour today, I am going to kind of have it as almost like a curve going along my cheekbones today to kind of heighten my cheekbones and pull my face up like this. Carve out that jawline, that Bella Hadid jawline that I will never have, but that's what we have makeup. For concealer, I'm going to use, of course, my Shape Tape from Tarte in Light Sand 205. With the Foxy Eye look, a lot of people are with the trend kind of doing this with their concealer just to shape that eye area and bring it up, so we are going to add a little bit extra there today. The nose, forehead to cover some of my redness, highlight that Cupid's bow, and blend. Bring that concealer down the side of my nose and across my eyelid to prime for shadow. As usual, I'm going to take my Mercier translucent powder to set my foundation. Remember to dab first and then blend. To continue contour, we are going to use, of course, my very well-loved contour kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills in light to medium, starting with this cool tone mixed with a little bit of the warm tone shade. The Farrah 218M contour brush. As I mentioned before, I'm really focusing on this shape here to make the apples of my cheeks pop. With the contour, we never want to blend down. We always want to blend it up to give it a nice transition into my bronzer. So I'm just kind of going in this shape like this. Sharpen out that jawline. I like to add a touch down the sides of my neck too. For my nose contour, I'm going to be using the same shades with a Vasanti concealer brush. I just like the shape of it. It just kind of gives it a nice little shape on my nose here. We are going to blend that down the sides and up into my crease. Same thing on this side. If you're going to be good at one thing with makeup, learn how to fix your mistakes. Happy accidents. With my nose contour, I am going to shape out my little button nose here. I think Bella Hadid has more of like a elongated, thin nose, but we're doing this for our face and what makes us happy. So it's an investment in happiness to contour my nose like this. Next, I'm going to be taking the yellow toned and the more translucent toned of these setting powders for under my eye. They are almost gone. I hit pan a long time ago, but I love them and will not give up on my best friends. Using an E.L.F. blush brush, I'm going to be taking those two under my eye and just setting there to brighten up my eye and bring it down my nose into my smile lines to kind of give the center of my face a glow and kind of shadow out the rest in shape here. As well as on my eyelid, give that a smooth set. Next, I'm going to be bronzing with my favorite Park Avenue Princess from Tarte. I have a little mini. This one just doesn't have any hit pan in it, so I'm using this one today with the Farrah bronzing brush. Just going to be bronzing my cheeks as normal, giving me some color since we all can tell that I can use it. To give myself an extra bronze, I'm going to be using this Lisa Frank Glam Dolls bronzer with my Farrah brush again, just to kind of touch up. So light coat here, a little on my nose, under my lip to create that pout that I don't have yet. Next, I'm going to be using my Ciaté London blush in Date Night. It has some gold in there to give it a nice glow. We want that golden glow. I watched a few videos before with Bella Hadid, and she kept mentioning that everybody loves gold, and gold just brings the party, and it kind of gives you this nice, like, yes, bitch, I am here. So we're going to take my Real Techniques blush brush just in there. Usually when I do my blush, I just do the apples of my cheeks to give myself that nice smile. But with this look, I'm going to be going up against here, just like that, to give it a glow and some color, drawing my face up like this. That's the whole goal of today. We want to draw the face up like this, that foxy look. And a little on my apples because I can't help it. Looking at my cheeks, they are a little bit extra bronze, a lot of blush going on here. So I'm just going to take my powder brush, my Real Techniques powder brush, and just kind of blend this. This is called Mineral Veiling. Just tones down what we have on there. Gives us more of a natural look. The star of the show, we are doing our eyes now. I'm going to be using my two go-to favorite palettes. These two palettes together, you can change the world. Tarte is one of my favorite brands. I do use a lot of their products in my videos. This one is the Tartelette in Bloom palette, and this is the Tartelette Matte Amazonian Clay palette. This is one of my daily users. I use this all the time just for easy go-to, sexy night looks, just anything. There are so many different options in this palette. I have completely used up the base shade. This one I have hit pan in as well as this transition shade. This one's awesome with my skin tone. I love mauves and purples to use, and this clearly has a whole row of them, and I love it. For the Tartelette in Bloom palette, I have this. I clearly have again hit this one on pan. This one has really nice neutrals as well as some shimmers and some foil shades in there. A little more warm tones at the bottom, which I'm not too much of a fan of for just my skin tone, but they're really great when I do my friend's makeup or anything like that. These are just amazing go-to shades. If anyone ever asks me what palettes they should get, I always recommend these two because there is just so much you can do with them. To start, I'm going to use my all over eyeshadow brush with Flower Child here to base my eyeshadow to create a nice smooth base for my eyelids. Just all over here. Now that I have a nice smooth base down, I'm going to go back to my Tarte lip palette and use the color Force of Nature, this one here, just to create a nice transition shade for the other colors I'm going to be using today. The first place you put your brush down is going to be where the most color impact happens. With this look, I am starting with my outer V today, just this corner here, and blending into a shape again like this. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Wanderer in the Tarte Lit palette. And here is the hack that I promised you guys. So to make it easy to get this nice elongated shape going here, you can take an envelope, a card, anything, and just line it up with your lower lash line and hold it there and blend from here. This is gonna give you a sharp line as a guide. So when you're doing looks like this that you really wanna bring your eyes up, this is a really good hack for that. I still do this. I feel like it just gives you a nice sharp line, and then you can take a blender brush later and just kind of blend the edges to make them a little softer. So lining that up with my lower lash line, we're just gonna start here and blend into my crease and along the card. See that nice sharp line that we get? Same thing on the other side. With today's eye look, we are going to be using, I started with the lightest tan shade and then we went a little bit darker. Now we're going to go here to the shade Dreamer. And we're just kind of going from lightest to dark, just to blend and keep it lower and lower, closer to your outer V, and creating this nice shadowed liner almost throughout here. Take that card, line it back up, start in your outer V, blend into your crease, and on. I'm going to take what's left over on that brush and just gently go under my eyelids here as well to create a nice smoked out effect. One thing I have noticed when I've been using this trick is sometimes it can be uneven, like one is higher than the other. That's why it's important to follow your lower lash line, just that natural line. Same thing when you're doing liner, which I'll do in a little bit. You just want to follow that line up towards your hairline. Now that I'm at the time where I'm going to be using the darkest brown, I am going to be using Multitasker with a Luxie 207 medium angled shading brush. Instead of blending in my outer V, I'm just going to be taking a nice liner shade and just gently patting and blending along my lash line. Taking the same color with the same brush, I'm just gonna do a couple taps into my crease just to give some definition. Moving on to my Tarte Lit and Bloom palette, we're going to be taking Activist, this second to darkest color here over on this side, with a Real Techniques brow brush, and just line that shadow across, creating a nice smoky effect. This brush is a little bit thicker than a normal eyebrow brush. It has a little bit more density to it than a regular eyebrow brush, which is thinner and sharper. This one is going to give us a nice smoky effect. Make sure to tap off that excess. Just in case, I'm going to use the card today just to keep that shape going, and just we'll go from there and then I'll fix it later if I need to. Line it up, start at the end of the lash line. And as you're going across with this shade, you want to go closer and closer to your lash line, bringing it towards that, creating this area thicker to make this stand out. Bringing that color up past my lash line now, just with what's left on the brush to create a nice wing. When you are going more towards your inner corner, it helps to flip the brush around this way to use that pointed end in the closer area, just to keep that thin line. Same thing with that outside over here. To get a sharper line, flip it so that thinner, pointier side is on there. And just do nice light taps to sharpen that edge up. Using just this brush without the card also kind of gives it an easier line here. It doesn't keep it quite as sharp, which is good. You don't want it like too sharp to make it look like you carved that out for this. I feel like a Foxy Eye, it's like even though you want it brought up this way, you still want that nice blended, natural, smokier look. If they don't match up perfectly, that's okay. My eyes are a little bit different. This eyebrow is a little lower, so it does kind of create a different shape, but that's okay. As long as it's as symmetrical as you can get it and you're happy with it, that's all that matters. This side went to Princeton, does yoga every morning, got straight A's, is a CEO, and this side, like, parties on the weekends, pops some pills, has some fun, you know. Didn't do that great in school, maybe dropped out. It's okay, both sides are happy. One little trick as well is going back in with your beauty blender and just kind of shaping that outside. I don't add any product onto it, I just use what's already on there, almost like a smudger eraser. And then make sure to go back in with your blending brush and just very lightly blend that outer corner. If you need to, I would add the medium shade, Wanderer, dab that in and just very lightly blend those together. To make sure those colors are cohesive, I'm going to be taking a La Mer Tapered Blending 110 brush, just looks like this. Gently dip in to Multitasker from the Tarte Amazonian Clay palette. Dab off that excess, this is important for the darker colors. Just gently tap it into that Activist color, the one we used on our liner. Very gently, you can always add more, you can never take away with dark shadows. With a lot of my looks, this one specifically, I will go back in with the same colors I used and just kind of touch them up, make sure everything is getting that full color payoff that we want, making sure it's all blended, just going back in and touching up. Like I said, you can always add more, you can't take away, so just take it slow, take your time, blend everything out, do what you need to do. Lastly, for shadow, I'm going to be taking this Araceli Chiquita blending brush, which I love the name of this one. I honestly have no idea where I got it. It just kind of popped up in my collection one day and now I love it. I'm going to be taking Funny Girl, this gold sparkly shade here out of the Tartelette in Bloom palette. Tap off that excess and just gently swoop through the very beginning of your eyelid and across just to give a little bit of gold shimmer there. If you need to, tapping is always a good thing as well, rather than just swiping. Tapping sets it down a little bit better and gives you less likely of a chance for fallout. When you're applying this color, make sure you just stay from your crease and down. Don't go above all the way to your brow. Just stay in this one small area, bring it to that inner corner, just to brighten up those eyes. Lastly, for shadow, I'm going to be taking an E.L.F. C brush. It has this nice little shape here, good for smoking out the underline, in the Dreamer color from the Tartelette Amazonian Clay matte palette. Just gently go across the bottom lash line here, just about halfway, maybe 1/3. Just gives it a nice smooth transition into that shadow liner, pulling your eye up. Next, I'm going to be taking a Lancome brown eyeliner in Black Coffee and just run it in my tight line, which is this line under my lashes here. This step is not necessary. I feel like it's just going to add a nice depth with the shadow liner and just bring it together. It is a little dangerous, so just be careful. One good way to do it is lift your eye and just gently go close to your as close to your lashes as possible. And again, that is called tight lining. Now in my waterline, I'm going to take that same Black Coffee pencil and just the very outer corners, just to keep it flowing with that liner going up. To continue that waterline, I'm going to take my go-to, the Marc Jacobs highliner in Pink of Me, just from that outside and bring it in. Now this is something I have actually never done. I'm going to be taking the Kat Von D ink liner in Hemingway, just a brown shade, and create a nice little wing right here to add on to that foxy eye. It's not necessary, it's just going to help add to that shape of pulling this area down to bring this side up. We're just going to very gently, in the very inner corner, drag that along. Just a gentle wing. Shape that outer corner down a bit. Now I'm going to gently take the same liner and just drag it across my lash line. Make sure I have a nice brown dark line going across my lashes. prep for highlighter, I'm going to take my De-Slick Urban Decay setting spray, set my makeup, taking a Morphe R316 highlighter brush and my trusty Estate Do Me highlighter, and I believe the color on this one is actually called Lit. It's lit. My face is lit. Usually when I do my highlighter, I would be taking it in a C shape up to my eyebrow. Today I'm going to be pulling it back to again draw that shape of my face back. Makeup really is a lot about playing with lights and shadows. You can really change your face and a whole look just with highlighter and contour. Taking my Urban Decay double-ended brush from the Naked palettes, using the fluffy side, just a dab on the tip of my nose, up the bridge, touch on my Cupid's bow. Using the non-fluffy side, dab into that highlighter and shape my brow bone. Was popping my highlighter. And gently going around that liner above and just below, highlighting my inner corner. I'm going to quickly do my lashes before I do my brows so my mascara has a chance to dry before I put my lashes on. And I'm going to start with the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara in Blackest Black. This mascara has a very thin, defined brush, so it's really good for lower lashes just to shape them out and give them a lot of length. It's not very good with volume, but that's why I like it for my lower lashes. And with this look, you are going to want to have your lashes flicking out to the side. So I'm going to put a lot of emphasis over here and not so much on the inside. Remember, if you do get any mascara anywhere on your skin, do not wipe it off. It will just smear and go all over the place and ruin your look. Let it completely dry, take a Q-tip and flick it off afterwards. For my upper lashes, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Full and Soft in Blackest Black. With your upper lashes, start at the base of the lash, look down, wiggle, and pull through. It'll just give you a nice, voluminous, lengthening lash look, and it'll make your lashes look thicker at the base. Again, with your lashes, for this look, making sure the outer parts are highlighted and a little thicker. Next, we are doing brows. I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown with a Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow brush. I dip a little bit into the pot, put some on the back of my hand. It's good to get it on the back of your hand before applying it on your brows. Gives the product a chance to warm up, become a little creamier, and just gives you an easier application. Dab there, get it smooth on the brush like that, and then just go in flicks. With this look, a lot of people I've seen on YouTube shave the tip of their brows so they can draw them out a little straighter. I am not going to do that. I love my eyebrows, so we're working with what we got. I am going to take the brush strokes a little bit quicker and harder that way just to give it more of a pulled out look. I went ahead and filled in my brows with that dip brow. To set them, I'm going to be taking the Gimme Brow in shade 4. And while I'm setting them, again, I'm just going to be pulling these hairs to give them a nice flicked look. There's no mistakes, only happy accidents. Brows are set, and we are moving on to lashes finally. Today I'm going to be using the Demi Wispies from Ardell. They have this nice drawn out edge over here, almost like a baby doll look that will help with that cat eye look, bringing this side up. Using the dark tone duo glue as usual, I'm going to go ahead and put a line on here and place them on. Doing a nice thin even line with glue across with a little extra dabs on the end. Make sure you are letting these get tacky and dry a bit before you place them on your eye. The glue has to become sticky. If it's wet, they're just going to slide all over. Just using this Tweezerman lash tweezers to squeeze these, make sure they are set as close to that lash line as possible. To set my lashes with my natural lashes, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Lash Sensational in Blackest Black, just to kind of brush through and bring up, especially on those outer lashes, to give it that nice foxy eye look. This is just something that I like to do to make sure that my lashes blend in with my natural lashes. For my lips, I'm going to be using a NYX lip pencil in beige to line them. And I am going to gently overline them, so adding a little bit on the bottom lip here just to add some puffiness. Right under my natural lip line. Sharpen up that Cupid's bow. And add a little extra on the sides of the top. Another good way to make your lips look a little puffier is shade in your outer corners with your lip liner. For lipstick, I'm going to be using MAC Modesty. This is definitely a favorite, and for me, it is very well loved. It is flat and almost gone. I need another one ASAP. Just in the center of the lips. To add a final touch, I'm going to be using my Joico lip gloss in Diamond Walk, just on the very center to give it a nice little glow in the very middle. At the end, after I finish my lips, I am going to take my concealer brush just on the tip of my concealer and just sharpen up those edges on the side here. So as you can see, this is the finished look. This is my take on the Bella Hadid plastic surgery faking foxy eye look that brings your face up and out and snatches it all together. I thoroughly enjoy doing this look. It is very glowy. It is a very kind of sharp eye look with a lot of smoke going on, as we like, a lot of glitter in there with the gold, and a neutral lip. It is honestly, this is like a go-to look for me. I would absolutely wear this out, going out with friends, to dinner, on a date. Not that I date, but you know, I love it. This is such a fun look. I really enjoyed it. These new inner corners is something new for me, and I love trying new things. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe down below. Throw me a comment if you have any questions about what I did, or if you've tried this yourself, anything that you enjoyed on this video. And don't forget to turn on those bell notifications if you enjoy my video. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Bye! I did save it because I'm really good at fixing mistakes. That's my one calling, or my one claim to fame, I would say, for myself, that no one else knows with makeup, is I'm really good at fixing my fuck ups.